Welcome, everyone. This is Todd Wool, one of the partners at Premier Estates International, and I'm here with David Jaffe, one of our auction directors. And we're here as part of our Auction University series to talk about, for all of you who aren't familiar with auctions and want to learn about why real estate auctions are a value to you, to your clients, kind of the our first episode in our auction university is what is a real estate auction, why auction, and and with that, I'm going to ask David.
Mhm.
David, for all of our viewers, what would you say is one of the core reasons, or many of the core reasons that you would consider using Premier Estates' World Bid Auction platform?
Well, thanks, Todd. There are a myriad of reasons why you'd want to use our World Bid Auction platform to sell a listing that you might have. Quickly. Sometimes it may be the listing you've had it for an extended period of time, and it's become tired, and you want to get new eyeballs on the property. When you switch and you when we switch from just a listing to now it's an auction, and say there's 10 listings on the street, where's everybody going to look first? They're going to look at the auction. It's going to get new eyeballs on the property. And it's also telling the marketplace that your client is a seller because they want to sell the property. And that's why they've come to us.
So really, David, what you're saying is our World Bid Auction platforms create a frenzy of buyers, right? Would you
Mm-hmm.
agree?
Yeah,
It creates urgency,
absolutely.
right? It creates date certainty,
Yes. And the
right?
illusion of a deal.
The illusion of a deal for a buyer, correct?
Uh-huh.
And I think all importantly, you would agree it creates market value
Absolutely. We reach market value within as long as within 60 days.
within 60 days.
Yeah.
So as both the property owner seller and or the real estate agent broker, um, what are some other key points that you would want to convey to them when they're just starting to think about using our World Bid Auction platform?
Sure. That's a great question, Todd. For those that aren't familiar with using auctions, I think it's an important thing to understand. Some of the key things to remember when you work with us is that you remain the agent of record. Whatever your deal is in place with your seller, that remains that way. You also have the ability to possibly double on the deal and represent the winning bidder as well in the auction process. Like I think we mentioned earlier, you sell it as is with no contingencies. So once we get into escrow, I don't want to say our close rate is 100%, but it's as close as you can get.
Understood. So when we think about an individual, whether they're the agent or the seller, when they think about a real estate auction, what do you think should first come to mind? Well, at least for the agent side of the transaction, what do you think
That's a
should,
great question, Todd, because I think that one thing that you need to be clear on is that our auction platform, it's not a foreclosure sale. This is not a fire sale. This is just a different methodology in selling your listing.
it's what you're saying, really, David. It's another marketing tool, correct?
Absolutely, yes. And
Right.
you can use it in multiple ways too, because once you learn our process and our learn our platform, you're now going to have that tool in your toolbox when you're going out for on listing appointments now. So you may be able to you'll be able to stand out against your competition because you'll be able to say, I have this ability as well. If we can auction your property.
And I think it is important for our listeners to understand that at Premier Estates International, I would say to you, 95% of the auctions we conduct are for non-distressed sellers, meaning they're just individuals that have decided our WorldBid auction platform, our global bespoke marketing that we do is the process of sale that they want to have the property sold by or
Hmm.
sold or use. And by doing so, you are correct, David. They're out of thinking outside of the box.
Hmm.
They are, as you said, standing out amongst all the other listings. And I will say to our audience that at least 95% of our buyers that are both within the Premier Estates client base and the world of buyers, as I like to say, these are retail buyers. They're Mr. and Mrs. Smith looking to buy a house at 123 Main Street, and they decide to buy this property because it's being auctioned versus, as you said, David, the property down the street that's just been for sale because they understand the seller's urgency.
Yep,
So right, David, this is not a foreclosure auction.
exactly.
Right? This is not any kind of court-ordered sale. This is
Mm-mm.
just a marketing approach. When you
It
think
is.
about it, right?
Yeah.
It's a marketing approach to sale.
And and also another benefit to using the auction process in the sale of real estate is that it's a transparent transaction that happens in front of everybody. You're not nobody's going to get a side deal because they know somebody. What we're all dealing and making an offer with the same terms. The only change is what price you're offering. So it's a level playing field.
Okay, well, I think that's a good segue when you talk about price. I think a common question from clients are to Premier Estates. One of the first questions is, well, is the property uh, going to be sold at, a fire sale price? David, how would you answer that?
No, it's not going to be sold at a fire sale price. Once what we achieve in the 60 days of marketing is we achieve market value. So it's going to sell for market value. It's going to be exposed both locally, nationally, and internationally through our bespoke marketing that we design specifically for different kinds of homes
Right.
and in different
And,
marketplaces.
and I think that's a good point for our listeners. Our global bespoke marketing campaign works in conjunction with the listing agent.
Hmm.
And for all of you who are watching who are agents or brokers and that a property's been listed with you or actually in situations with other agents, it's been on the market for 2 months, 5 months, 8 months, a year, 2 years. Um, it's been on the market as a
Hmm.
listing in many cases with multiple agents at multiple different prices. And the
Hmm.
market still hasn't been found by a price. And our WorldBid auction platform, David, of course, will find market value
Well,
and will do it in, as you say, 60 days or less.
mhm.
And as I always say, market value, it's what a willing buyer is willing to write the check for, right? The
Yep.
property's value is not based upon what the listing agent believes it is, what the seller believes it is, the property owner.
Hmm.
It's purely, not the appraiser, right? It's based upon what the buyer is willing to pay.
Exactly.
And I think that brings up another point. When you think about people, a common question I receive is, well, what kind of properties suit our WorldBid auction platform at Premier Estates? David, why don't you start with that question and I'll end it.
Okay. Well, I don't want to say every property, but pretty much any property we can sell via an auction. There are some that are suited better than others. Um, if you have a property that's hard to comp, something that's like has some maybe historical value or something that's unique in the marketplace, and the market you just haven't found the number yet. Um, it could be that you have a time crunch, right? We said this before, um, and it could also be that we all have had these kind of deals in the past where where somebody buys a piece of land and they build a beautiful large home. The only problem is that the piece of land that they bought, all the homes around it are like 1,500 square feet. The old castle amongst cottages issue. So it's another way of getting more exposure and to get people to look at the property. So it's it's something that could be used almost, I don't want to say any property, but pretty much any property.
Well, I think, you are correct. And for our audience, I think I understand that, agents work in certain markets and they have certain price points to deal with. At Premier Estates, just to give everybody a flavor, we've auctioned $25 million estates. We've auctioned, brand new condo developments, the last 10 condos in a 40 unit condo building. We've auctioned, a tract, the balance, a closeout auction for a
Mhm.
tract development of single family homes where there's,
Sure.
100 were built and, the last six, and we run a closeout auction. Again,
Oh, no,
not to undersell the market, but actually to
sure.
create that frenzy for that final six or that final 10 or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And that the builder, the developer knows in one day, there's he or she's got the market and sold all
Mhm.
the properties and they
Yep.
cash out quickly. But at the same time, it could be for that $2 million home, as David said, that, maybe square footage larger, uh, on the square footage side of the house than what's normal in the market. Or
Mhm.
inversely, you could have a huge piece of land with a small house. Again,
Yep.
one way or another, hard to comp properties.
Yeah.
But David, I think from a court setting, when you think about other reasons why sellers would want date certainty, what comes to mind for you?
Well, courts actually really like the auction process, and the reason they like it is what we spoke about earlier, is that it's a transaction that's transparent and it's going to happen in front of everybody, and there's nobody playing games. So courts love auctions, whether
What
it
type of
be
courts? Yeah. What?
okay, whether it be in bankruptcy, family law, um, probate. I mean, because at the end of the day, when a judge is doing an overbid in the courtroom, what is he doing, Todd?
He's doing an auction, David.
There you go. So I mean, it's used. Courts have have always found favor with auctions throughout time, I would say.
Right.
So
So right. So I think you hit the nail on the head. Probate, family law, divorce, right, which is
mhm,
family law, bankruptcy, receivership, partnership disputes,
mhm. Oh yeah,
um,
they're great for partition sales.
partition sales, right? Our World at Auction platform is experienced in being used for all of those situations. Um, but when you think about the world of when and why and who would need to use our WorldBid auction platform, I think all of you can start to see how broad it is and
Hmm.
how much it opens up the opportunities for agents and brokers to create a new business line for themselves within their market. Right,
Hmm.
David?
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah. And so, additionally, one thing that, David alluded to, is that even if you don't have a listing yourself as an agent thinking that this may be an auction opportunity, that if you know of an agent in your market that it's got a property that you think, God, you know what, maybe I should introduce them to Premier Estates. Well, we pay a very large referral fee to the
Hmm.
agent who refers us to the agent with the
Yep.
listing, right?
Yep.
Um, our geographically, Premier Estates works from Honolulu to Maine, from all of Mexico, all of the Caribbean markets, and England.
Mm. Yep.
And soon to be Canada. So when you look at geographically where we cover, we are very focused on working with agent partners in local
Hmm.
markets that are really focused on developing a new business line, create new
Hmm.
revenue streams from
Yep.
themselves and their office, right?
Yep.
Any other thoughts about that, David?
No, I think you hit the nail on the head. And I just want to, I just want to get this through to the brokers that are watching us, and I want them to understand something about what I think differentiates Premier Estates International to other auction companies. Let's say, um, when you work with us here at Premier Estates, you as a listing agent are as much a partner with us as your seller. We're very agent centric because we believe that we're going to develop a long term relationship with you, the agent, because you're not out there looking and selling real estate all the time. Whereas a seller may sell a property once every 10 years. You're selling properties, you could be selling 30, 40, 50 properties a year. I don't know. So we are very agent centric and agent focused.
Yeah, that's a very good point. Thank you, David. You are correct. Our world really circulates around the agent. And I think one of the other, before we sign off, one of the other questions we get quite often is, what does it cost us? And 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 the answer is, it costs you as a listing agent zero. We do not charge you for any kind of fee or marketing service or advertising. There are no upfront fees to you. There are no upfront fees to your client, the seller, the property owner. There are no advance fees due to us. If we sell the property, we are paid a commission just like you, the listing agent. If we do not sell the property, in that rare occurrence, then we are not paid and there are no fees due to us.
Mhm.
And and we'll talk about this in our next in our next series of our auction university. But our fee structure generally is paid by the buyer, so there are no costs to the seller from a commission standpoint to Premier Estates. The buyer's premium, as it's technically called, is paid by the buyer, and in range, people constantly ask us, what is that range? And that's 2 to 4%. And each auction stands uh, on its own merit. So, once we analyze a property, we will then give you what that buyer's premium is. But there are no hidden fees, there are no hidden costs. I think there's one other thing that I'd like our audience to know is we're the only auction company in the US that has a licensed real estate appraisal arm.
Mhm.
And as such, we analyze the properties that come to us very carefully on behalf of the agent, on behalf of the seller, to determine if it is truly an auction candidate. And, we work, as David said, for all of you, we work very closely with the listing agent. Um, they are our partners from start to finish, and we want to understand and learn about the localized market because really, the listing agent is the expert. You are the expert in your market. We
Yep.
are not. But our real estate appraisal team is definitely a value add as we see it.
Sure. And also to mention that in all the marketing that we do, you as a listing agent is co-branded with us in all the marketing that we do.
Correct.
So it's an additional injection of marketing for you and your
So
brand.
that is exactly correct. Well, David, I want to thank you for being part of our first Auction University
Sure.
presentation here in
Pleasure.
2025. And we hope all of our viewers, see value in Premier Estates International's World Bid Auction platform. We look forward to talking with you and seeing you at our next Auction University presentation. So
Thank you.
thank you, David.
Thank you, Todd.
And signing off. Thank you
See you
all.
guys.
Thank you very much.
Bye.
Take care.